What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now. First up, a first look at the God of Thunder's new duds for Thor Ragnarok, then a brand new DC superhero show in the works, and finally a familiar face from around the MCU returning in Spider-Man Homecoming. But first up, let's talk Thor Ragnarok and some massive, surprising news breaking late from that film's set. This news comes to us from where the film is shooting in Sydney. Well, actually the news comes to us from the internet, but the news has come to us either way. In some photos from the set, new costumes have been revealed for Loki, Odin, and especially Thor, who's going to be looking very differently the next time we see him in next November. The photos actually come to us from the Instagram feed of Juan Miguel Arias, Sir Anthony Hopkins' personal assistant, who of course is on location in Australia with the legendary actor and managed to get some photos while he was on set with some of the film's other actors. As usual, we can't actually show you the set photos in this video for fear of studio retaliation, like copyright strikes and whatnot, and as the pictures have already been removed from Mr. Arias' Instagram account, we're just being extra careful with this one, but you can check them out at the link in the description below. And let's start off with the big one, right? The first image in that album is of the God of Thunder himself, Thor, and you can easily see I am not exaggerating. His look is completely different from the first three films. Those costumes were very heavily inspired by his classic armor, and of course later on very heavily inspired by his look from Marvel Comics' Ultimate Universe, while this doesn't really resemble anything he's worn in his character's history. If anything, with the cape looking the way it looks, this costume might most closely resemble Unworthy Thor, the most recent comics incarnation, as in the comics right now, Thor is currently unworthy of carrying his hammer, Mjolnir. But in this image, Thor isn't shirtless. We also got to look at Loki's new costume for Thor Ragnarok, but this doesn't really seem to be shaking up too much for the God of Mischief. It's still a green robe and is actually very similar to his look in Thor the Dark World and the Avengers. Now this is a really interesting shot, as it might suggest that the scene that was being filmed when this photo was taken happens towards the end of the movie. Minor spoiler alert here for the film, click away if you don't want to know. As it was widely reported, Odin has been hiding out on Earth disguised as a hobo. Well, he's better dressed than any hobo I've personally ever seen, as he's decked out in a very comfy looking regal robe befitting his stature as the King of Asgard. So check out the photos for yourself and let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Thor's new look? On to our next story today, a former Justice League member might soon be getting his own TV series. Deadline has exclusively learned that Warner Bros. Television is developing a series based around legendary African-American superhero Jefferson Pierce, aka Black Lightning. The series is being worked on as a collaboration between Greg Berlanti, the mastermind behind CW's DC TV universe, and husband and wife duo Mara Brock and Salim Akil. Written by the Akils, Deadline reports that the show will center around an older, wizened, and retired Pierce forced to re-enter the world of superheroes as a wanted vigilante. This is huge, and it's actually really cool in my opinion for more than a few reasons. First off, Black Lightning is a pretty incredible character. He was first created in 1977, and he was really one of the first major African-American superheroes. As far as I can tell from my research, he was also the first black superhero to ever be invited to join the Justice League, though he denied their request. Even with his classic history, he's kind of fallen by the wayside in recent years, and this would be a great chance for him to recapture some of the public attention that he sadly never really had. So I'd love to see it happen, and the show is reportedly already being shopped around to networks, so fingers crossed. And in our last story of the day, Variety is reporting that a fan favorite MCU character is set to make his return to the universe in Spider-Man Homecoming. That's right, one of the very first characters to ever appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tony Stark's loyal companion, the director of Iron Man 1 and 2, Jon Favreau himself, Happy Hogan, will be returning in next year's Spidey solo film. And to me, this actually does come as a surprise. I mean, we knew Robert Downey Jr. would appear. We have for a while, but Happy's character has kind of been in a weird place since Iron Man 3, when he stopped being Tony's driver and started being Stark Industries' head of security. But with Tony and Pepper's situation up in the air, and Pepper maybe or maybe not being the CEO of Stark Industries anymore, we don't know, Happy's situation is kind of up in the air. The best bet is that he's returned to being Tony's driver and that he'll show up attached to Robert Downey's scenes in the movie. But that's all just speculation on my part, so common question of the day, how do you think Happy Hogan will return in Spider-Man Homecoming? That's going to do it for today's HNN. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe if it's your first time checking out the channel, and consider supporting us on Patreon for access to all sorts of exclusive goodies. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.